All right, I'm not sure when we go live. It's still setting up, redirecting. All right, I think we're live right now. This is my first live on YouTube. Welcome. My name is Contino. I am a coach, mindset, and peak performance and creativity is what it's all about. And I'm the founder of Untapped Genius, where we give you everything you need to do your thing better. So, welcome, and I'm excited to be beginning new lives. I used to do Facebook Lives on a regular basis every single day. Actually, I've done over 800 of them in a row, but I want a better platform. So, this is it. Day one going live on YouTube. So, what you can expect. Untapped Genius, first of all, the name. It does not refer to the Einsteins of the world. It does not refer to people with that rare talent or skill. It actually refers to the built-in abilities of the mind and body and life itself. Let me say that again. Untapped genius refers to the built-in natural abilities that many of us don't even know that we don't know about. And that when we recognize certain abilities, which we will be getting into, it'll help us do our thing better. It will help redefine what we think is possible for ourselves. Core conviction with Untapped Genius is you are friggin' amazing. Period. Not as a feel-good notion, not as a positive affirmation or anything of the sort. I say that as a statement of hard, cold, measurable, tangible fact. You are amazing, more amazing than what you can even conceptualize. And as we explore together these natural built-in abilities of the mind and body, I believe that you will come to realize that you are even more amazing than what you had realized. And our mission with Untapped Genius is very simple but profound and absolutely unattainable, but we're going for it anyway. And that is to show a billion people just how amazing they are in the absence of the crap that gets in the way. So what gets in the way? One thing and one thing only. I like to call it creations of the slippery mind. It's the bunch of hocus pocus perceptions, illusions, if you will, that the mind creates moment to moment during our waking day. And these illusions will show up as beliefs, what you perceive to be true, what you think is true, judgments, assumptions, labels. This is good, that's bad, she's awesome, he's a jerk, I'm not very good at such and such, or I could never do such and such in my life. It's impossible, right? These are all creations of the mind that will always have evidence to prove it right. And that's what makes the mind, what I like to call the slippery mind, so powerful and profound in its impact. That when we realize that the mind is giving us stuff, there's what's happening in reality, and then there's always that filter, the perception of and the meaning of what's happening. So there's the external reality, it is what it is, and then there's my mind's interpretation, and it's in the mind's interpretation that we can get into so much trouble, because whatever the mind comes up with, it will also have lots of evidence to back that conclusion up. And it's designed to, to appear to be real. So the central game at play when it comes to tapping our genius and doing our thing to the fullest is being able to wake up from the effects, the creations, the hocus pocus of one's own mind. And we're going to be getting into simple but powerful ways that we can begin to do that. But know this, it's never a done deal. The mind will always mess with us. Always. To varying degrees. And once we realize that, then we can begin to realize that there is no managing the mind, manhandling it, controlling it. You know, if that is the default thing that we will try to do. Once we realize that, let's say, for example, geez, you know, I'm a pretty negative thinker. I want to be more positive. Now, with that intention, that well meaning intention, we set ourselves up for failure. Paradoxically, by saying, I'm going to be more positive, what's going to happen when I have a negative thought? I would say, no, 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 I don't want to have that negative thought. I'm going to be more positive. But then you get another negative thought, and another, and another, and another. And you're fighting your mind. You're trying to control it. You're trying to interrupt what it's already giving you. And that is the least effective way we can deal with the creations of the mind. And plus, paradoxically, it can put us into trouble with it. It can actually increase the power of whatever the mind is giving us in the moment by fighting what is. So I'm going to get into this quite a bit in the future, but here's a general idea I want you to consider. That for every single thing happening in the moment, external reality, there's only two responses that my mind and body will then have. It's either a quote unquote, yes, this is good, and it opens up, and you can tell because your energy goes up a little bit. A lot more to be said on that. Then there's a quote unquote, no thought, this is not good. We pull away, we retract a little bit, our energy and state of mind goes down, at least a little bit. So for all the millions of different thoughts that we can have and different reactions to the moment that we can have, not just thoughts, but our sensations, the imagery that we see in our mind, only comes down to two things. Yes, opening, and I do not mean the word yes. That's why I say quote yes. It's just a yes, this is good. It's an opening type of response, or it's a no, and it's a closing off. That's it. One of the many benefits of framing things up in such a simple way is that you will then set up multiple, what I call feedback systems, to let you know, where is my mind at in any particular moment? Because a lot of this stuff happens underneath the surface when we're busy doing our day. So what if you were able to detect a no thought or response, and you felt it in the moment, because you noticed a little dip in your energy, you felt a little weight to your body or your day? Well, one of the beautiful things about this, and there are many, many benefits to simplifying this to either a yes response or a no response. One of them is that your body will tell you the instant you have a no thought, your energy will go down, or you'll want to get up off your chair and go eat something or drink something. Much more to be said on that, but that's another little bit of feedback that can let you know, oh, I just had a no thought. Now, here's one of the top benefits is that you can deal with no thoughts or no responses to the moment without actually dealing with the content of that no thought. Like, oh boy, I hope that client signs up today, or geez, I got so much to do today. I hope I get it all done. You know, any thought of doubt or fear, overwhelm, uncertainty is a no thought, and you can feel it. It's kind of intuitive. Yeah. And so again, the key benefit I want to focus on right now with this simple model of yes versus no is that there are ways to clear the no response, because once you have a no response, it stays that way. It's like a software program that gets triggered, and you can have a lot of no's within the first few seconds of waking up. Oh my gosh, I got so much to do today, and this, that, and the other thing. And pretty soon the day's feeling kind of heavy. Well, now we know why, because you got a bunch of no thoughts running in the system. And again, they will continue running until those no thoughts, those constrictions, are released. And there are many ways of doing it without actually knowing the content. Why would we want to be able to deal with a no response without knowing the content? Two reasons. One is we can deal with it energetically, directly. And number two, if I don't have to go in the content of my mind, then I'm not going to be as under hypnosis, under the influence of it as much or at all. Because in dealing with, now listen, awareness in general, great. Therapy, counseling, and everything to fix things that have happened in the past, okay, all great. But awareness can have a paradoxical twist to it. We can become self-identified to those conclusions or that awareness that we have about why we are the way we are and why things have happened a certain way in the past. But other than that, throughout my day, 98% of the time, I don't need to know the content. I just need to know I had a no thought. So I went off on that a little bit. Today was just to give you a little taste of the things that we're going to be getting into. And the overall scope is it's all about doing what you do better, doing it to the fullest, doing things in the absence of the no thoughts, the doubts, the fears, and other limits and constraints that that slippery mind makes. You know, in the absence of that stuff, like I said, a core conviction with Untapped Genius is we are freaking amazing. And what's the one thing that gets in the way? Creations of the mind. What's the one thing that really gets in the mind in terms of the creations of the mind? One thing, no thoughts. Much more to be shared about that in the future. But welcome to Untapped Genius, and subscribe. I do these lives every single day. This is day one on YouTube, and I'm going to start doing it every day on YouTube as well. So definitely subscribe, and please do share it, get it out to the world. All right, guys, we will talk to you tomorrow. Until then, life is good, so enjoy the ride. All right, folks. See ya.